barbershop conversation, guys. Before I go, I'm about to walk in the gym right now. Make sure you guys working out, stay hydrated. It's drizzling out here in LA. For all you beta emotional males, I don't really care about the emotions of it. That's probably why I don't really entertain. I don't really get perturbed by you guys. I did some quick numbers, some quick analysis real quick, because all I care is about the numbers. And I'm probably the only one on YouTube that has seen multiple PBC contracts, Al Heyman contracts, understand the cuts and all that. So I'm your closest to an expert as possible. So let's say hypothetically, and this is the whole, I'm going to break it down realistically when I get home, because I'm not in front of the computer and I don't feel like driving back home today, right now. It's the first of the month, so we got to do some repairs and stuff like that. And thank God I did the leaks during COVID, man. I ain't gonna have no leaks during this rainy season. Thank you, Jesus. Anyhow, let's say the pay-per-view costs $100. It's probably gonna cost $89.99, but I just want to do whole solid numbers so you guys can understand and so you guys can break down how it really goes. So let's say we got that, right? $100 million. So that equals $100 million if the pay-per-view costs $100 and they do $1 million, right? So now you guys have multiples. So if they do 1.5, 2 million, you have your base number so you can do the math. Okay? Now let's go through this realistically. If they did 100 million buys at a 65-35 split, that would mean Earl Spence gets 65 million, Terrence Crawford get 35 million. Cable companies, because you're doing it through basic cable, takes 50% off the top. I don't care how it's divvied up. They get 50% off the top. So that takes Earl Spence down to 32.5, Terrence Crawford down to 17.5. Al Heyman takes 20%. Okay, Al Heyman takes 20%. So if he takes 20%, 10% of 32.5 is 3.25 million. So that means 20% is 6.5 million. So that means he gets what? $25.5 million gross. Earl Spence would get, if it sold 100 million, he would get $25.5 million. All right. At 35 splits, and you guys take out your paper and you do the math with me. I round it up or round it down to 250 because I'm doing a quick math before I go in the gym. At home, I'll put it up on the screen and we can do it like that. But now everybody's going to start counting numbers because, I'm the expert. But everybody else is going to be emotional. I'm the only one in history and YouTube that's ever done real numbers. Okay, I just want you guys to know that. And so now that leaves Terrence Crawford with $14 million. And that's at 1 million buys. Okay, gross, he would bring home 14 million. He may have some other fees, some promotional fees, the flying on a jet, first class, and all that, all the marketing and stuff that may come from his bottom line as well. But Al Heyman gets 20%. The network gets 50 right off the top. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that is the pay-per-view model as in a nutshell. You understand? Maybe Earl, he only takes 15%. But if Terrence Crawford signs that contract, Terrence Crawford's gonna have to give Al Heyman minimum 20% of his pay. So everybody's walking away at 1 million buys. Earl Spence is walking away with 26 million. Terrence Crawford 14 million. And these are the facts. If it sells 1 million pay-per-view buys with no guarantee on each side. Now, the pros and the cons of this. Everybody's going to be emotional. I'm not being... Fuck emotion, dog. The pros and the cons of this is Al Heyman is not risking anything financially. Genius. Business move. I'm not giving this man no guarantee. And that's why in his big fights, you always see 1 million, and 2 million. Go back to the last pay-per-view where it says Wilder made 2 million, Fury made 1 million. Yeah, that's a guarantee because they got to give something to the California Athletic State Commission. But the reality is that's what they got to pay. And they got to pay 4 sanctioning fees. I didn't add the sanctioning fees in. This is just gross. Okay, so you guys understand. You got to take away 12% in sanctioning fees. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you take 10% of 26 million, that's 2.6 million. You take away, and then you take 2% of 2.6 million. That's what the sanctioning fees are. You understand? But I just factored in the gross. I'm going to break all this down. People going to bite my style, and that's okay. I want them to because it'll make my job easier. So feel free to add to this if you have a YouTube channel. But these are the real numbers for pay-per-view. Errol walks away with 26, Terrence Crawford 14 million. So that means out of the 100 million, 26 plus 14, the fighters get 40%, and the men in suits get 60%. If you do it the basic pay-per-view way. You understand? And these are the facts. You guys can do the numbers yourself. I just did quick numbers, and that's typically how it goes. So barbershop conversations, I'll do when I get done working out, because I got to start. It's 8:07. When I get back, I'll do so you guys can understand. I'll do the 80-20 split, as what he said, with the $25 million guarantee, and we'll combine them. I mean, and we'll do the pros and cons in each, and there you have your answer. I don't give a fuck about Earl, Spence, Terrence. I want to educate the fans. I want to educate the fighters. I want to educate the managers, because this is what you don't know. You understand? Like, when I'm buying the fee, who's paying the closing costs? I done seen multiple PBC contracts. I done seen entertainment contracts. I done seen property contract. I done seen it all. And I'm just here to tell you, and this is why they don't like me, because I tell the fighters the truth. Earl, 26 million on a million buys. Now, if you factor in the decline of pay-per-view, but this is a fight party fight, so there was some mesh there. So there's a blurred line there that we don't know, because the last million-person pay-per-view was non-Floyd, was Triple G Canelo, right? So now you got to factor in, Canelo did how many? His most was 700,000. So now I believe you're somewhere in between 500 and a million, because you're only fucking with one fan base. You understand? And these are boxing fans, and the black fans, and the sports fans. You're not adding in the Filipinos. You're not adding in the Latinos. So you got to factor all this in. And now it's so easy, you know, it's so easy to stream the fights, especially if you're just watching with your boys and not a fight party. So there's like a mesh there. I don't know what the hundreds of thousands it is, but there's a mesh there. And and these are the realities. So so that's the pay-per-view model. I'll break it down further. I'm not dealing with the emotions. Crawford said this, Spence said this, Al said that, YouTube channel said that, fans said that. Fuck all that shit, man. I'm just going to tell you the truth, and there you have it. So barbershop conversation. These are roundabout gross numbers on a million pay-per-view buys, real numbers. Barbershop conversation. I'll holler at you guys soon. Peace, guys.